Welcome to Hello Doctor, Hello Diva podcast, where we want to provide you with unlimited inspiration that will help you mentally, physically, spiritually, and financially. Today, we will talk about the number one bestseller book, Let Them by Mel Robbins. I am Tammy Moore, the Diamond Diva.
And I am Manisa Slater, Dr. CPA. Let's talk about this book. I know, I was like, let's talk about this book. So the Let Them theory has literally changed my life. And we're going to ask a few questions, talk through a few questions, and just basically give our experience on how Let Them help both of us. When I first heard about the Let Them theory, I was like, Let Them theory? Is that a real thing? But then when I started reading the book and she actually had evidence-based research to support it, I was like, this is a really, really great book. And now that I have my doctorate, I noticed and I actually go back and say, well, what's evidence-based? Not just basically this person went through the experience and don't have anything to back that. So let's start with the first question. When did you let go of the control of situations and people?
Well, first, let me say this about the book is that a lot of it is biblically based. Actually, a lot of her things you can find in the Bible, which I love, and I love Mel Robbins because she always keeps it straightforward. But I let go of situations and control of people when I was about 19 years old, when I made some big girl decisions, and everybody was against what I wanted to do, and it turns out I was right. Not saying that I didn't go through some pains, not saying that I didn't have some challenges, but in my heart, I knew that it was God telling me to go.
Yes.
Just like he told Moses to go, and separate from his family. I knew that that's what he was telling me to do. And I mean, when I tell you, everybody tried to talk me out of it, and I'm proud of myself that I stood on what I knew I felt in my heart, and I made that decision to go.
Now, what I'll say, I mean, it's the complete opposite. I haven't really fully let go of control of situations. I have learned from experience that I have no control over anything.
Yeah.
God's in full control.
Yes.
Full control.
Yes.
So everything will happen according to his will and his timing. And in certain situations where I force things, I've had the consequences of dealing with it. So what I do now is my slight control. I realize that I have to just take a step back and think thoroughly about the situation, and say, okay, Manisa, relax. Things are happening the way that they should happen. They're the way that they should go. And if it's for you, it's for you.
Yeah.
And it'll be for you. And this is regarding situations, people, anything. And so now through the experience, I'm like, okay, just take a step back. God got this.
Yeah.
And I just go with that.
And like what you said, what's for you won't miss you. And over the last couple of years, with everything that's been going on in my life, my husband and I always say, if you want to make God laugh, tell him your plans.
Exactly.
Because it literally works out 100% of the time. It may not be the way you want it to work out, but it works out just as it's supposed to. And so us being type A personalities, it's very hard to let go of control. But when you surrender to God, your life gets a little bit easier to know that it's not your way, it's his way.
I mean, and sometimes he forces you to be
Absolutely.
very uncomfortable. Well, you have to just let go of control.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, you'll literally lose your mind.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So how did you learn to deal with someone else's emotional reactions? Ooh.
I love what Mel Robbins says in the book. Then I used to be like, why is this person acting this way? Or why are they doing this? Or why are they acting this way towards me? Or I'm genuinely cannot do something. Why are they so upset at me? And Mel Robbins said it like point blank. Some people just haven't dealt with how to deal with situations. They haven't had the therapy. They haven't had the experience to deal with it. So their emotional reactions, their temper tantrums, falling out on the floor, screaming, crying, these grown adults doing it. And she said they just need to work on themselves. But then how do you deal with that? And I mean, I'll go into this into this experience. So I grew up with a mom that was very emotional, and she's still very emotional. And so this is how I dealt with a lot of situations, but I felt like it did more harm for me than more good. So what I did is I worked it out through therapy. I talked it out through their therapy. I know that some of my reactions and the way where I was extremely defensive or I was putting things off on other people just didn't work for me. And I wanted to do better. And then I also wanted to know how to deal with it for people that haven't gone through the therapy and did the work to know how to become emotionally stable. And so now I can say when someone is having a temper tantrum, I take a step back and say, well, I know my intentions were good and I know I set out to do the right thing. So how you feel is your perception of how you think what you thought I was, what my intentions were. But I know deep down my intentions were good.
Yeah. And you can only control you. You can never, regardless of how upset someone gets, you can never control their emotions. You can only control your own. And adult temper tantrums are the worst. And if you really think about it as kids, I think she says in the book too, you don't learn how to deal with your emotions as a child. So you just turn into a big kid as an adult. And when we got upset, the first thing our parents told us was not to be upset. And it's like, so when you become an adult, you don't
Calm down.
know, right? You don't know how to deal with it. But it's like, I don't want to calm down. I want to cry because I'm angry or, I'm frustrated right now. But you literally, your words can fall on deaf ears simply because that person is not open.
Yeah.
And they're not emotionally intelligent enough to receive what you're saying. So you can only control your reaction. It's up to them what they do with it. And 99% of the time, it really has nothing to do with you. Like
nothing.
Their
they could have had a bad day, something going wrong in their household, anything. And this is a good habit even at work. Because I had a situation where a lady, she was very, very irate in one of our meetings. And I could have took it there too.
Yeah.
But I took a step back and I said, well, maybe she's just having a bad day.
Yeah.
We'll circle back tomorrow.
And I heard someone say too a long time ago, it's like, instead of saying what's wrong with you, start asking people what happened to you.
Yes.
Because a lot of times it's not even about the moment. Something happened when they were 7 and they never got, you know what I mean? They never got over it. And so
who hurt you?
Right. Who hurt you? So, because it wasn't me. You're just taking it out on me right now. Exactly. But yeah, you really have to ask those questions, the hard questions. And sometimes people are not ready to deal with it. And you look, you got to let them.
You got to let them.
Let them and let you.
Yeah. And even in situations, I know she brought this situation up and I was trying to see if I had it on one of the other questions. But she had brought up the situation where sometimes we wear ourselves out. We tire ourselves out trying to ensure that we don't get those emotional reactions. So we'll go to 10 parties in one night.
I was thinking of that story, yeah.
So we'll make sure that this person is happy.
Yeah.
If I can't make it and I genuinely can't make it and it's going to be a big effort for me or I'm going to be stressed out. And she even said in one situation, if she left early and the person said something about her leaving early, but didn't realize that she had made the commitment to come a half an hour here, 2 hours the other opposite direction, just to show up to be there. Yeah. And then the person still was upset that they were only there for a half an hour.
And then she didn't make anybody happy because when she got to Thanksgiving dinner, they said, oh, you came late. Yeah. The other lady said you could have stayed. And then the other people. So it's like she went through all of that emotional roller coaster, driving, trying to please everybody instead of just going to where she wanted to go.
Exactly.
Because people that really care about you understand, eventually, their feelings are going to be hurt because it's important to them, but they eventually get over it if they truly, truly care about you. But trying to please everybody pleases nobody.
Exactly.
Yeah. That was a lesson in that one. Yeah.
So the next one is how did you get past fearing other people's opinion?
I got past fearing other people's opinions when I got a divorce. I mean, I had no choice. Everybody had an opinion. Everybody had a suggestion, and I had to make my own decision, and I did. And I remember when I was in an abusive marriage before, and I never told anyone. And I remember when I told my mom, that I wanted to get a divorce, she said, what the people gonna say? And I said, who are the people?
Who are the people?
Because I said, what the people gonna say when I'm dead? And that was a wake up for me to just do what's best for me because, listen, life be life and for everybody. Nobody has a perfect life. And so I did what was best for me. and I'm better for it and happy that I did. But it's like sometimes people project their fears on you. You know, oh, well, if you do this, I've never done that before. And it's like that. Well, that doesn't mean it's not going to happen. And so when you feel it in your gut that that is what you should do, that is that urging to do it. And so you cannot worry what anyone thinks, because if you fail, if things don't work out, those same people are going to be sneering at you, you know, and if you succeed, those same people are going to be hating on you most of the time. So do you.
And this is what I said too. So I'm right along with you. Do what's best for you.
Yeah.
Not Nikki, not Paul, not your mama, not
That's
your daddy, not your brother, not your sister,
That's right.
not your spouse, not your kids. Do what's best for you. And that's not being selfish.
No.
At the end of the day, you have to be okay with the decisions that you made deep down in your heart,
Yes.
your intentions, what you want to accomplish. You have to be okay with it. And I remember I was so hard on myself when I did the career shift from finance to HR. I was hard on myself because I said I went into finance and accounting. It wasn't a lot of African. It's a whole book on it. The white collar profession, white collar profession, and it's about African Americans. How it took us years to get CPAs. It took 25 years after the first CPA for the African American man to get it, and then 50 years after that for a black woman to get a CPA. So I was proud to have that CPA, but I felt like I kept trying to prove that I belonged in finance and accounting as a black woman. Like, it was constant. I belong here. I need to be here. Then I got to director level. I was like, okay, now it's VP level. I'm going to continue proving to these people that I belong here. But I wasn't truly happy in what I was doing. And I'm good at finances. I'm good at taxes. But in the corporate environment, I just wasn't happy doing that day-to-day finance and accounting. And that's why I end up going in financial systems and data. And now I'm in HR. And one of my friends said, well, you should have been in HR in the beginning because that's your personality. That's where I always thought you should be anyway. And again, it took me a long time to think, like, I just want to be happy.
Yes.
Deep down in my heart, I want to do what's best for me.
Yes.
And I want to be able to sleep at night.
And at the end of the day, when you lay your head to your pillow, how does Manisa feel?
Yes.
Because nobody else has to do it. And she even talks about that because she was an attorney.
Yes.
She was miserable.
Miserable.
And you know what? We get caught up in labels and what people think we should do. Oh, you got a CPA. Don't not use your CPA. You're always going to use your CPA
I'm
in
always.
something.
It's a life skill.
But you got to go where you're called.
Yes.
You got to go where God, when that pulling comes, you got to follow it because that's where the blessing is.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if I'm not harming you and I'm not disrespecting you, then and I got good intentions,
Let me be.
Let me be. Let me be.
That's right.
Let me do what's best for me
Yes.
because I'm not harming you and it's not taking anything away from
That's
you.
right. And you're happy.
And I'm happy.
And because you're happy, when you enter a room, you make
The
everybody
light.
else. Yes.
The
yes.
light, it goes, it makes everybody else happy. It gives encouragement. It gives enthusiasm. It's just pure happiness.
And believe it or not, and I think she mentioned this too, people know when you're genuinely happy.
Yes.
It's like, or when you're faking I mean, I do. I just have a really strong discerning spirit. It's like people know when you're bogged down with something or when something's weighing heavy on you. I can see heaviness on people. And people can see heaviness on me if it's something on my mind. Like I'll be talking to my friend Helen and she'll call me back. She'll be like, you okay? You know, and then it's like, you know, I'm just superficial talking. And it's like, girl.
And you spend it, and when people do things for money too. So
Yes.
you're staying in it for money. And granted, we all need money to survive, right? And you want to be successful, but God will pave that way.
Yes.
He gives you the desires of your heart. He can do exceedingly abundantly anything you ask for.
And you got to chase purpose, not money. We talked about that Saturday. We had a financial seminar. If you chase your purpose, the money will literally chase you down. But if you chase money, you'll move away from your purpose, and that's what a lot of people do. But I'll say this again: what's for you will not miss you.
It will not miss you at all.
Okay, next question is: what is your advice on what you've learned from the Let Them theory and how you are empowered by Let Me?
Yes. Yes. So I used to care a lot about what people thought about me, like a lot. Even the situation I told you about, the finance and accounting, I wanted to be that African American and make it to the VP level in finance and accounting. And I probably still can, but in my own lane. And what this book has taught me, and we just talked about your own lane, is to ensure that I'm secure and I'm confident in who I am and own my own lane and stay in the lane that was created for me. And so when I let them think what they want to think. If I didn't call you and you felt that I felt a certain way about something, I'm going to let you think that because my intentions were
pure.
not that.
Yes.
They were pure. And sometimes, and I've thought about this in the past too, sometimes I've jumped to conclusions and assumptions thinking someone felt a certain way. And then I talked to them the next day and they didn't feel nothing like that.
No, nothing. The story that she used in the book that resonated with me so much was when she told the story about her friend group that went on vacation.
Having a good time.
And she was like, what are they doing on vacation? Nobody asked me if I wanted to go on vacation.
But she checked herself.
And then she was like, wait a minute, I have not even talked to these people in months. And why would they even invite me? I've been so busy in my life.
Yes.
I have not even called them or checked on them.
Or talked to them.
And it's so important. We get in our feelings and then you literally have to check yourself. She was like, let them have a good time. They can have a good time without me being there. That was so profound to me because it's like sometimes like I'll go on vacation and somebody will be like, well, how come you didn't ask me? And I'm like, because I just wanted to go with my husband. Or, and I saw that because I saw another one of my friend groups that I barely ever talked to. They have a trip planned. And I thought about the book, but I didn't feel no way about it because I was like, I probably wouldn't have went anyway. But I was like, she's right because you get in your ego.
Yeah.
To me, a lot of times when the offense comes, it's more ego rising up than the actual
It's your
circumstances.
perception of the situation.
Because she was like, she said I haven't talked to these people in forever, so why would I even be offended that they didn't invite me? I wouldn't even know what to talk to them about. So sometimes life is just not about you. Most of the time, people are not doing things with you in mind.
And you have to be okay with that.
Yeah, because everybody has their own little sector of the world. Like me and you talk all the time. You know everything that's going on, and in my life, and somebody on the outside has no clue what's going on in my life. So they may be prejudging me, but they don't have the inside track. Exactly. And that's okay. Yeah.
Exactly. And that's how I am too. Like I've seen situations where like people hanging out, they go out to a party and I wasn't invited. I'm okay with that. And most of the time, I don't want you to invite me.
Right.
I just want to chill and relax in the bed because I'm a homebody. I'm an introvert. A lot of people don't think I'm an introvert, but I derive my energy by being by myself at home watching TV. And so, or even just being with my family. And so I do like to go out. So when you do invite me to go out, I'll go out. But if you don't, I'm also okay too. And so this is where I've always been comfortable with that.
Yeah.
But other people, when I do stuff like that, they're like, well, why you didn't invite me? And I wanted to go on that trip too. And I wanted to do that. And like you said, I just probably want to go with my husband. Right. Or I want to, and I don't travel with everybody. Yeah. Because I don't trust everybody.
You can't. And you have to keep your circles. I would tell a funny story about me and you. Manisa has this whole group of friends, right? And it's like we all come together for things. And they always used to go to Batters and Berries. Remember that? And I was like, when y'all going to invite me? When am I going to make it out in the group chat to go to Batters and Berries? But I was just joking. I was just joking. But I love to see their sisterhood and them together. And I always tell you that, So one time, I don't know what you had, but you invited me. And I was like, I made it in the group chat. I was so happy to be there. But
I had to check myself about my friend group. And yes, I'm talking about the 5 ladies in my friend group that I had, we was having holiday parties. And so, and I even told them this too. I was like, every year I'm the one reaching out. I'm planning. I'm doing this. I'm doing it. I'm keeping it together. But in all honesty, they didn't hang out outside of me.
Right. You're the common denominator.
I'm
right?
the common denominator. Yeah. So I was like, wait a minute, I'm upset that nobody else doing this, but why would they?
Right.
They don't hang out outside of me, so they all coming together, and I should be grateful that they coming together because I'm the common denominator. Yes. I'm the friend, so they putting everything else aside and coming together to be with me. And so that's how I had to kind of flip the script and think about it from that perspective, because I'm like, and I had the holiday party and you were invited.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah, so I had the holiday party this past year, and I was like, and I have to do things because I want to do them, and it's I want to be the good person,
right?
And
it's your vision. It's your vision.
Yeah, and it's my vision, and I also want to ensure that I'm doing things not for the return of something.
You're doing.
I'm doing it out of the goodness of my heart.
And the whole message in that too is it's okay if you have different friends for different reasons. You got your work friends, you got your friends you grew up with, you got your friends you work out with that you met later in life. And when you're secure in yourself and when you know where you stand with your friends, you don't compete. Exactly. It's like you can celebrate. Like I can celebrate you going on vacation with someone else, and you celebrate me if I'm going on. It's like it's not but that goes back to let them and let me, because life is just that. It's like, just let the person live. Let them live. Let them enjoy life. Everything's not about you. Everything's not about, if you're included or not. And some things you probably wouldn't even go if they invited you anyway, You
just want to be invited.
Right.
So you could say no.
And then let me, it's like, let them live and let me live. So live and let live. That's the whole premise of the Let Them Theory. I love that book.
Yes. So check it out. The Let Them Theory by Mel Robbins. Our next podcast, and by the way, this is our third one, so I'm so excited. So our fourth podcast that will be coming up, we're going to be talking about Bag Lady, the famous song by Erykah Badu, Bag Lady.
Pack light.
Pack light.
Girl, you got too much stuff.
So that's going to be our next topic. So thank you for chiming in, and we out.
Signing out.